This is a dish Mum would cook us at least once a week. It's very French, ratatouille, and she'd also make it because it's super quick to put together. Now, ratatouille is a summer-style stew. It's so delicious. It's a combination of summer vegetables such as zucchini and eggplant, also some capsicum to name a few. Now, I need a saute pan and a pan for this, and I love this set because it stacks neatly and fits in any cupboard. So we need to start with our saute pan. I'm just going to swap these around. Now we'll turn this onto a medium to high heat, and I'll pop on our removable handle, a good glug of extra virgin olive oil. I'd say about 1.5 to 2 tablespoons. And then we'll start slowly frying all of our ingredients. You always start with the onions, so in with our onions, 1 brown onion that's been chopped, along with the capsicum. So they're going to take the longest to cook, so that's why I always add them first. And they've been chopped around the same size, so it cooks evenly. A generous pinch of salt, and 2 cloves of garlic. The garlic I just want to bruise and roughly chop. Okay, that can go in now. And while that's sizzling away, we can prepare our other vegetables. So 1 zucchini that I'll cut in half, and then into 3. This is one of those dishes that's very famous in the south of France when the vegetables are at their prime in summer. It's a dish that goes with absolutely everything. I mean, I'm doing it with some sausages today, but it also goes really nicely with a piece of fish or any roast meat like chicken or roast lamb. Absolutely delicious. And I always make a big batch of my ratatouille because then I can store it in the freezer. It freezes so well and it's ready to go in the middle of the week. So now with our eggplant, cutting them into long strips, and then again, cutting this into smaller pieces. Now, eggplant is like a sponge, so after our onions and capsicum are cooked, I will add just a little more olive oil. All right, let's have a look at our onions. Looking good. We've got some colour, started to soften, so we'll add the rest of these vegetables. And it seems like quite a lot of vegetables, but after cooking for 20 to 25 minutes, it does cook down significantly. As mentioned, some more olive oil, good drizzle, and some more salt. A crack of pepper. And finally, a bouquet garni, which is a combination of herbs. There's parsley in here, bay leaves, and some thyme. I've just tied it together to make it so much easier to take out right at the end because we don't want this in the final dish, but it will perfume these vegetables, so it's a must to add. Give this a stir. Just want to start softening them, coating them in the oil, and you can see we're getting a light colour, which is perfect. Finally, the tomatoes. 3 tomatoes. If you don't want to use fresh tomatoes, a can works nicely. Use a can of whole peeled tomatoes. Just drain any of the juices off. So we'll add them. Fold that through the vegetables. And the lid can go on. I don't add any water to this. There's enough water in the tomatoes. I'm going to take off this removable handle and we can start cooking our sausages. Olive oil. I'll just add a small amount to the sausages, so they can go into the pan. See how it's just a little sizzle? I like that because we're going to gently cook them so they're going to be golden on the outside and really moist in the centre. Okay, now while these cook, I'm going to add one more thing to this dish. Mum wouldn't do this, but I love it. It really freshens the whole thing up. I'm going to make a green sauce with a combination of coriander and parsley. In a mortar and pestle, I'll add 1 clove of garlic, along with a pinch of salt. And the reason we add the salt is to season it, but also to break down that garlic so it becomes quite soft and not as harsh in flavour. So we'll just break that up and wait till it becomes a sticky paste. Looks good. Now for some chili, a long green chili. The green chili has a warmth to it. It's not as spicy, but if you want a bit more of a kick to it, you can use a small green chili. And I'm just cutting it quite roughly to add to this, just to help the mortar and pestle along. So in that goes. Spices, some smoked paprika, and some ground cumin. Now use a little bit of elbow grease here just to bash and bruise all of that green chili, and then I'm going to add 2 large handfuls of the herbs. Now just to finish off this green sauce, I added some vinegar and some extra virgin olive oil just for it to come together. Look at that vibrant colour. It's going to go perfectly with our lamb sausages. Now the ratatouille is ready too. The vegetables have broken down, and you can see I didn't add any water to this, but it's the perfect consistency, not too dry. So we'll turn that off, and to plate up a generous amount of the ratatouille. Mum would also serve this with some lentils on the side if she had some time to cook them. Okay, now for the sausages. I'm feeling quite peckish, so I'm going to add 2 to the top of this ratatouille. Line them up. Usually when you think of snags, you think of just adding it with mustard or ketchup, but adding this sauce just really makes it quite elegant, and it also freshens it up. Cuts through the lamb fat, it's just perfect. Generous amount over the top, and a bit more. Voila, very French ratatouille with lamb sausages and spicy green sauce. So delicious.